Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good evening to all. Today my group will present in topic non-performing loans. So my name is Norjanah binti Jalani EX03591 and this is my group members Ting Kwong Ong EX03587, Nur Aina Nadira Samsudin EX03612. Next. So this is the content of our presentation today. We have introduction in MPL, article summary, article term, critic comment in the article view, action taken by other country in controlling MPL, and also conclusion. Next. So let me tell you what the MPL. MPL is the loan which is not in quality, which means the borrower does not make payment according to the promising schedule of loan payment. So according to Bank Negara Malaysia, BNM, is effectively on 1st January 1998, the MPL the loan will fall into MPL around 6 when the loan is not being paid 6 months and more in arrears. So in this pandemic of COVID-19, the MPL will high due to financial problem. Next. Okay, based on article summary, uh, based on the Khoo Siew Kiat, a restructuring services leader of Deloitte Malaysia, he said that MPL bank ratio will inspire when the repayment aid comes to the end. In Malaysia, BNM has introduced moratorium and they have also maintaining the overnight policy rate. And this repayment aid actually want to reduce the bank and public burden during the pandemic. And he is just suggesting that to conduct the portfolio sale because the portfolio sale has been proven in many countries that it lead to successful uh, tools to leverage the balance sheet. Uh, he also said that he suggests BNM to examine back of strict MPL say guideline because if the BNM does not look back at the MPL guideline, the MPL ratio will be highly rising and the MPL will be in crisis. And he also said that the bank should concern on others' data as for smoothing portfolio sale. Next. So MPL ratio analysis. Next. This Malaysian NPL ratio, as you can see, there is increasing rate of NPL ratio in December of 2019 to March 2020 from 1.753% to 1.585%. This is due to the economic changes. And as you see, it's decreasing rate of NPL ratio from April 2020 to July 2020 from 1.575 to 1.428%. This is due to the government moratorium that has been started from April 2020 to September 2020. So the next graph is from August 20 to July 21st. The increasing rate on NPL ratio from September 2020 to January 2021. It is a side effect of the government moratorium because the government moratorium has ended after the September of 2020. So as we can see, there is a decreasing in NPL ratio from January to 2021 to April 2021, which is a form of 1.601% to 1.567%. This is due to our development in the economic condition. And the increasing rate of NPL ratio from April 2021 to July 2021 from 1.567% to 1.66%. This is due to very bad economic condition and the second outbreak of COVID-19. Next. And this is the next content, which is article term. And this in article term, we have loan more repayment assistance, which is moratorium. What is a moratorium? Moratorium is aiming for reducing Malaysian financial burden to pay loans while in the pandemic. The moratorium actually program will do not make any payment or being imposed penalties while in this program. So it's a being effectively for the first version is on 1st April 2020, and it just within the 6 months. And the second version is has been start couple months ago, which is 7 July 2021 on the second version. And the participant on the first version actually is individual and SME. And the second version is individual, SME, and a macro enterprise. Next. Okay, for those who are borrow in the loan of personal, housing, car, and business loan, they can apply for the moratorium. And this moratorium has benefited for those borrower around 2.6 billion borrower from 1st June 2021 to 20 August 2021. So it has such a huge number that the borrower be benefited. And they are being advised to make repayment after the moratorium and they have to be dealing back with their bank. So next, I will pass to Ting Kwang Ong for the next point. Thank you.
Thank you, Chana. Okay. Next, we will go to the explain on the what is the portfolio sales. Next. So from the refer to the article, there is a two part for the portfolio NPL sales, which is NPL sales, and another one is a non-core asset portfolio sales. Next. So we will look on the what is the NPL sales. If Malaysia banks perform the portfolio sales, the NPL ratio can be reduced. The portfolio sales actually request the bank to sell all the loans equivalent financial asset in a single transaction. It means that he helped to cover the loan liquidity into the cash, and then the extra cash can be used to raise the loan application. As a result, bank can sell all of the company asset in a single portfolio sales to the single customer. So this will lowering the NPL's ratio. While bank must the banks must execute the data checking, they need to do the preparation and then the portfolio pricing checking before they can perform this NPL sales. So bank and financial institutions have the few options they can reducing their non-performance loans. The first, the bank can make the very effort to lower the amount of the non-portfolio loan. Yeah, because the bank are aware of their customer ability and then the repayment condition. So they will determine the optimize the timing and then the methods to restructure or to selling the NPL asset. So bank also will do the testing with the previous NPL sales and determine what is the best strategy they can use to like the internal organization structure and then the resources allocation, like to do the capital, financial, and then the information system. So when come to the this sales of the NPL portfolio, there will be few difficulties that the buyer and then the seller they need to address. The first is the due diligence. It's a more important factors to consider. The buyer they must be aware of the asset portfolio sales model as well as what is the asset characteristics. This will affect the liquidity and then the cash flow and then the payback in the future. While for the seller, they need to conduct the checking on the buyer data like the legal skills, diligence study. So before that, the buyer must also to consider what is the loans security they have to protect this portfolio's loan asset, so that they can perform this transferring to the selling the loan. Then the assets also will be based on the location, sure, the secured by the location. The quality of the documentation and then the security of the asset will be taken into the account when both the buyer and the seller in this portfolio NPL portfolio sales. So next, we will see one of the example from the Europeans, the data for the regarding this buyer and then the seller in this NPL market. there will be more to the this 44 refer to the graph. There is a 44% of the buyer. They are more to the this small medium enterprise loan, and then the last commercial credit. Commercial credit actually is the demand of the loan credit facility that is provided by the bank or financial institution to the buyer. Then actually this one is used to obtain the cash and then capital quickly. It means that the differences between the regular loan and then this commercial loan actually is the borrower will be charged interest when they'll based on this total amount withdrawal. So commercial credit actually is revolving. It means that once you have paid back the money, you will get back the credit limit again. So buyer interest in the small, medium, and then enterprise loan asset, and then this last commercial credit actually you can refer to the class is 44% of this total percentage. Next, we will see what is the non-core asset. Non-core asset is a non-operating asset. It's an asset that organization doesn't fully utilize this asset to run their business. So one of the example like the investment securities, undeveloped lands, and then the real estate. So according to this article, the bank can sell this non-core asset share capital in order to free out their fund or capital to invest to the others successfully the investment unit. So this one will be increase their profit and then reduce the risk because there are no need to do this cost of the maintenance and then service for this non-core asset. So when it comes to this non-core assets disposal, they need to focus on the good asset and then the bad asset. So this good and bad asset actually is referring to this good bank and then the bad bank. The good bank is referring to the banks. They will need to sell. They need to check what is the asset is good to sell to the buyer. Then when it comes to the bad banks like the ANCs, asset management company, normally they will buy this NPL from the good banks with a specific standard offer, or we can say it's a discount. And then they will see out of the looking for the customer like the private sector to recover the fund quickly. So selling the loans to ANCs allow the bank and then financial institutions to avoid the increasing the bad debt and then the credit risk losses. There are the few things that influence the demand of this non-core assets. The first is the capitalization. The capital will be increased because this bank will be more engaged to participate in this non-core assets portfolio. Second thing, they will enjoy the more experience because the bank and investor, they are more experienced dealing with this non-core asset. So according to this European trade research statistic, investor and then the bank have saw over the 1,800 loan portfolio with the fair values around the European 850 million in the 2011. So the third thing is a better comprehensive solution. It means the bank and financial institutions are taking the holistic approach to this loan approval, loans are sales. So they are familiar with this trading. But due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the estimated fair value for this NPL will be around European 150 million in the 2021 and then 2020 compared to the 2011. So this COVID-19 crisis actually will affect this NPL's portfolio sales. As a result, we can conclude that the buyer will be continue to looking for this better investment. Then when the seller, they will need to see what are the best NPL assets to sell for it. So I think just all for me. Next, I will pass to the presenter.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. So I will proceed with the critique and comment in article view. So actually, we are not too much agree with the loan repayment assistance, which is moratorium. It's because moratorium package will not be in or be interest free. This because the interest will be accrual within the 6 months in this program. So they have to pay extra charge because they have accrual interest free after the 6 months of moratorium ended. So this moratorium is not fully unveiled and borrower will feel being cheated because as before, initially they feel the moratorium as their savior, but when after the very deeply digging about what is the real moratorium, they feel this program does not have any poor intention in the first place to helping the public. The public is very struggling in the COVID-19 pandemic. And then they will feel cheated because the bank is not give or provide the borrower any notification or option and just let the borrower having their own individual awareness only. So the borrower will be more upset and depressed because they have to think back the extra charge they need to pay after the 6 months, and they assume it's not supposed to be happen, and they feel upset that they take this moratorium program is for them to less the burden, but it's in fact it's a vice versa. It's give them more burden as before. So what the real benefited from it is just in the behalf of bank only, not the public, because the bank will take advantage by charging another interest plus with the original balance loan while in this program. So from here we know the party very benefited is this bank, and because not other not who are in the business who doesn't want profit. So same goes to the bank of the bank nature business. So next, as I say, this will give a very burden to borrower after the moratorium ended because the extra charge they have been to be paid. So the NPL ratio will more spike than usual because the borrower also cannot have capable to pay the loan, and also the extra charge has been charged after the 6 months. So this is why we are not really much agree with this moratorium. So next I will pass to Aina Nadira. Thank you.
Okay, I will proceed with the action taken by other countries in controlling the NPL. The country that we choose is Greece. By the COVID-19 pandemic, that happened a lot around the world is the main cause of economic condition change. The NPL ratio will show the increasing rate if the government cannot boost up the economy back to the normal. The NPL ratio problem also affected the European Central Bank (ECB), and as per supervision of ECB, all the banks in Greece has been conducting the Hercules Asset Protection Scheme. The Hercules Asset Protection Scheme has been helping all four banks in Greece in handling the increasing rate of NPL ratio due to the COVID-19. By conducting the Hercules, the bad loan inflow of the Greek bank is under control. The Hercules has been established for the initial period of 18 months and approved by the Greek Commission on October 2019. The Hercules is designed to help the bank in handling the NPL ratios. And because of the Greece has been handling the problem of high NPL due to the economic crisis in 2008. Hercules is like the lifesaver of Greek bank in order to decrease the NPL ratios. The Hercules offer the individual or private sector to buy the NPL from the bank, and the individual or private sector can sell back the NPL to the other investors. The aim of the Hercules Asset Protection is to help and assist the bank to reduce the increasing rate of NPL by attracting the private sector to buy the bank NPL. The Hercules has the amazing performance as it has been successful in reducing the NPL ratios by 20% for the first year of the operation. Because of the successful rate, the Greek authorities has announced the intention to extend the period of the scheme until 2022. The Hercules Asset Protection Scheme review. The Hercules Asset Protection Scheme is almost the same concept as the asset management company that our country Malaysia use. The Hercules offer the individual or private sector to buy NPL from the bank, and then the individual or private sector can sell back the NPL to the other investors. The concept selling and buying of the NPL is almost the same concept that asset management company use. The comparison of the Hercules Asset Protection Scheme. There are only a slight difference that only can be seen in terms of the buyer. The seller offers to sell the NPL to the individual and the private sector. The individual and private sector can sell back the NPL to the interested buyer. However, the asset management company buy the NPL for themselves to collect the loan. This is next. I will proceed with analysis on Greece NPL ratios. This is the ratios, net NPL ratio in Greece before the outbreak of COVID-19 and during the COVID-19 pandemic. The NPL ratios in Greece is able to decrease its rate gradually from June 2019 to December 2019, which is from 43.5% to 40%. The COVID-19 that happened do not affect the decreasing rate progress of the NPL. It gradually increased from March 2020 to June 2020, which is from 40% to 37.1%. Okay. The last line graph is showing the NPL ratio from June 2020 to June 2021. NPL ratio increased during the COVID-19, which is the NPL ratio increased during the COVID-19. Greek authority has extended Hercules asset protection to the year of 2022 because the decreasing rate of the NPL ratio happened gradually without being affected by the economic crisis. The graph shows the decreasing rate from June 2020 to June 2021, which is from 37.1% to 21.3%. The achievement is conducting the Hercules in 1.5 years with decreasing rate of 20.6%. That's all from me. I will pass to Jannah for the conclusion.
Okay, thanks, Aina, for such a very good point. And then, last but not least, I will conclude in this regarding this topic. Actually, each party must play well their roles, or either they in the view of borrower, banks, and also government. Because NPL occur due to the parties' irresponsible behavior, such the borrower does not pay the loan, and then the bank does not having a very strict monitor towards the borrower, knowing what the borrower have been through, either they have been burdened in the financial or not. So wise action taken will lead into the reduction of NPL ratio. And as the reduction of NPL ratio reduce, we can make the improvement of our nation economy and ease more people, and it is what we need to reduce the NPL. So this is what we can conclude, we can share regarding this topic and in this in the article also. So thank you so much to all, and that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.